Hi, fourth grade. Okay, this is math, page 509, 1 through 19. Now, you might have to rewind me on this because it's kind of confusing, but it says you can use your calculator, so that's kind of nice. Grab your mom's phone, grab your phone, and use the calculator if you want to. But let me show you how you can do it without your calculator. Basically, you're changing centimeters to meters and meters to centimeters. So we know that, if I can find my marker, there are 100, Francis, 100 centimeters equals 1 meter, okay? That looks atrocious. But if we know that there are 100 centimeters per meter, you're either going to divide by 100 or multiply by 100 in order to change them. Divide by 100 or multiply by 100. And that's why they're letting you use a calculator, because dividing by 100 can be kind of confusing, especially when you're doing a decimal. When you're dividing a decimal by 100, it's confusing. So they're letting you use a calculator. And you'll see on page 509, here is one way to change meters to centimeters. So if you know the meter, say you know the meter, like 5 meters, okay? And you want to change that to centimeters. Can you see that? Then you're going to multiply. And it says up there you're going to multiply by 100. You're either going to multiply by 100 times by 100 or you're going to divide by 100. Well, 5 meters would be 500 centimeters. So just remember, when you're going from meters to centimeters, you're multiplying by 100. Now, what happens if you have to go from centimeters to meters? If you know how many centimeters there are, let's say there's 23 centimeters, and you want to know how many meters that is. Well, you have to divide by 100. And you can go ahead and type in, you can divide by this by 100, which you can. Or you can say, you know there's 23 centimeters, you know there's 100 centimeters, right? 23 out of 100, that's what that is saying to you. There's 23 centimeters out of 100, because there's 100 centimeters per meter. So you're dividing that, or you're writing it as a fraction like that. And hey, you know how to write 23 hundredths as a decimal, or dividing by 100 is 23.23. That means it's 23 out of 100. Now, if you were to type that into your calculator and say 23 divided by 100, you would get 0.23. Because basically, you have 23 and you're moving spots for every 0 you have, you're going to move your spots over, which that's a whole nother lesson, which we would have to do in person. But I'm just saying, if you want to use your calculator, you can. Or you can go ahead and put it in a fraction like that, 23 out of 100, and you will write 23 hundredths. Okay? So let's look at another one like that. So that, to me, the ones that you're multiplying are super easy. You guys know how to multiply by 100. You can even do that with a paper and pencil, or you can use your calculator. But when you're dividing by 100, like say it says 84 centimeters equals how many meters? And I think that's actually one of your things. 84 centimeters equals how many meters? Well, it's 84 out of 100, that's really what it's saying. 84 out of 100. How do I write that as a decimal? So I could go to the side and say, okay, 84 out of 100, 84 out of the 100 centimeters that are in a meter, which would equal 0.84. 0.84. Okay? There's another one on there. Oh, but what if you have 9? 9 centimeters equals how many meters? Well, 9 centimeters is really 9 out of 100 meters. Okay? So how many meters? Not even a meter. Not even one full meter. Obviously, it's going to be 9 out of 100 looks like this. 9 meters. Or 9 hundredths of a meter. Isn't that weird? That's what they want you to do for this assignment. So basically, rewind me if you're not sure. Let's do one more. I think they have 36 centimeters equals how many meters? Again, when you go from centimeters to meters, you divide by 100. And you could type in your computer, you can, divide by 100 on your calculator, or you can say 36 out of 100. Oh, we know 36 out of 100 is 0.36. Okay, or you could actually type it into your calculator. Here's my calculator right here. Bear with me, my little children. Bear with me. Remember these crazy calculators that we don't use because you're not here? So if you have, you'll see, say you have 36 and divide 36 by 100, and you'll get 0.36. Okay, so you'd say, if that's what you want to do, is do it on a calculator. So if you have, okay, I have 36, but I need to divide because I'm changing centimeters to meters, so I need to divide by 100. Just type in 36 first, divided by 100, and you'll notice, oh, it's 0.36. Cool. So you can do that too. Just remember, there's 100 centimeters per meter. So that one's kind of funky. But I gave you a bunch of answers on here for 1 through 19, and that's all you're doing. Other than that, write the letter of the measurement that matches. 8 meters would be 800 centimeters, so that'd be B for number 12. Yeah, it's kind of fun. So don't be freaked out by it. And ask your mom or dad if you need help, or rewind me, because that's what I live for.